Try new things. Don't try new things because I told you to. Try new things because your friends want you to. Because your friends will appreciate it. Okay, how many times have you recommended a TV show, a video game, an album to one of your friends, and they've said, yeah, I'll definitely check it out, and then they don't? I'll say that's happened to me quite a lot, actually. And it's not a great feeling. I understand, like, we've all got stuff to do, and very frequently, we don't have time to listen to everything, or watch everything, or play everything. Sometimes, you know, when it comes to games especially, sometimes you don't have the money, right? Like, it's excusable here and there, but I think, you know, if you're wanting to, like, make a connection with someone, I think it shows a lot of care, I guess, is what I'm looking for. It shows a lot of care when you go out of your way to do that for someone. Because we've all been there, right? And we all know when we're recommending something, like, the chance that it actually gets taken up is not super high. Just, like, realistically speaking. But honestly, do it for yourself as well, because you'll be surprised what you find, right? Because I played Wario Land 4 at the recommendation of one of my friends. Fantastic game. Brilliant game. Really, really fun. I mean, recommendations have come in super handy for Melon Keeper Gold, finding stuff to play. But even if you're not doing Melon Keeper Gold, which none of you are, you know, it's still a good way to expand your horizons and maybe find some stuff you like. But even if you don't like it, I still think it's worth it. I still think it's worth trying new stuff just for the sake of expanding your horizons. And I have tons of examples of this since I just started saying yes to things. People say, oh, listen to this album. I'm like, fuck yeah. Okay, let's do it. And you know what? A lot of the time, it's not for me. Sometimes there's like a couple good tracks in there. Is that worth it? Probably. Actually, probably worth it. And the thing is, being in a position where someone's talking about something, or a group of people are talking about something, and you know nothing about it, it kind of alienates you from the conversation. And you can reduce the amount of times that happens. You can reduce the frequency with which that affects you by just saying yes when someone recommends you something. Because it happens so much that someone's like, oh, you should check this thing out. And you're like, yeah, put it aside, never end up doing it. It's really worth it. Ultra Kill was a game that my friend recommended me. And I was like, sure, this game seems pretty cool. I'll check it out. And word of mouth is one of the best ways to find new things. Because if you look up, oh, what's a good TV show to watch? Those recommendations are coming from faceless people on the internet, right? If I say the same thing to one of my friends, well, we've got something in common already for us to be friends, right? And they kind of get me, hopefully. My friends like kind of understand my tastes and my preferences. A lot of times, you know, someone will come to you and be like, hey, I think this is something you'd like. Why on earth would you not take them up on that offer, right? But it happens so much that I say, hey, you should check this out, and then they never do. Or they're just flat out like, no, I don't care about that. And it kind of hurts, because it's like, well, I'm trying to, like, connect with you in that way, and you're not willing to do it. And these people aren't bad friends, and they're not, like... The thing is, you have to be understanding when this happens, because there's so much going on in a person's life that, like, obviously, they you know, if they checked out everything someone recommended to them, I'm sure that would take up a significant portion of their time. But if you have the time and you have the resources to check it out, absolutely do it. You might be surprised by what you find. And it's a great way to just learn more about the world and find out new things that exist. I mean, there's so many TV shows and stuff that as soon as people start talking about it, I'm like, okay, I'm not in this conversation anymore. Like, I just don't know what's going on. But equally, that has happened less and less since I've started just saying yes to people. And also, I would appreciate it if the next time that I say, hey, this artist is really good, or this game is really good, that people were just like, yeah, that looks cool, I'm going to check that out. So yeah, I think it's just a considerate thing to do. It's like a kind thing to do. Not obligatory, but I think it definitely, it builds up a kind of trust, I guess. Because, like, if someone takes you seriously on those recommendations, and if I receive a message a couple days later that's like, hey, I checked out this thing, it's pretty cool, or even if they don't like it and they're like, hey, it's not for me, it's like, now I kind of treat that as like, okay, you did this thing, I'm going to take your recommendations more seriously. Because you're not just dishing them out, you're also, like, accepting them. And I think, like, it's very bold for somebody to say, like, hey, you should check this thing out when they've never checked out a recommendation from me. Obviously, someone has to go first, but, man, I just think, like, it's one of those, like, social things where, like, they're like, it's so beneficial for both parties. It's actually, like, the fact that so many people just don't take on those recommendations. To me, that's like, that's preventing us from maybe, having a deeper connection. And it could be so much better. Imagine what we could have if you just took me seriously on this one, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm being dramatic about it. I just think, like, I'm so happy that I have done it and I have taken those recommendations seriously, because I found so many amazing things through it, right? Like, I started watching House MD. Now, House MD has a lot of problems. Like, it's an old TV show, and it's very much a product of its time, but equally, it is brilliant. And I have been ranting and raving about this show to anybody who will listen. And a lot of the time, the response I'm getting is one of two things. It's people saying, oh, yeah, it's fantastic, like, you really have to get it, but, like, once you get it, the show is endlessly entertaining. And it is, and I'm so thankful that there's 8 seasons of it. I'm only on season 3, and I'm obsessed. Like, I've watched 48 episodes, I've watched over 50 episodes of this show, and I'm not even halfway through. There's 177 episodes. Like, that's so exciting to me, because it's such a, like, it's an amazing show. There are problems with it. Like, there are definitely some bits that have not aged well, and honestly, at the time, were probably not acceptable. But by and large, those are the minority of episodes. And even the episodes that have kind of problematic or weird bits in them, overall the episodes tend to be good. It tends to be moments. But it is bad, and I won't excuse. There's some, like, really unfortunate episodes where it's like, this could have been so good, but you had to ruin it by being weird. So, like, I do understand that aspect of it, but so many times I'll talk to people about this show and they're like, oh, isn't the episode the same every time? And it's like, it's formulaic, but it's also, like, serialized, right? Like, there's a overarching plot as well, and people will be like, oh, well, isn't that show bad? Isn't it, like, just, like, stupid, and House is always right? And it's like, yeah, House is always right, but, like, there's so much more to the show than that. Like, the show is not about the mystery. I mean, each episode is about the mysteries, right? But the show is not about the mystery so much as it's a very, very character-driven show. But once people have an opinion, some people can be so stubborn about it. Like, I'll say, hey, like, this show's actually genuinely really good and extremely funny. But it's not like a so bad it's good kind of funny. The show is a comedy as much as it is a drama. It's meant to be funny. But, you know, once people have it in their head that the show is not good, they just don't want to watch it. And I find that really, like, frustrating. Because I'm trying to share this, like, love I have, and you're just not into it. And it's fine. Like I said before, people don't need to, you know, listen to my every word. But the people who do listen, they're real ones, right? They have a place in my heart, and I'm so glad there are people like that. You know, going out of your comfort zone and trying new stuff is a fantastic way to create memories that last forever. And, you know, humans in general, like, as a theme, tend to not like change. And I get that. Change is, like, frustrating. Change is difficult. But there's so much of the world to explore. Like, there's so much of the world to explore that you're missing out on by worrying about what comes next. So, I don't know. You don't need to turn your lifestyle around and start trying new things every day. You don't need to live in an exciting world where, you know, there's a new adventure every day, but just go out there and try something new. Because you might surprise yourself. You probably will surprise yourself, right? Like, just take those preconceived notions and throw them out.